My sister tried to ruin my wedding. So I exposed her secret baby. I, 28F, have always been the black sheep of my family. My sister Rachel, 30F, is the golden child, straight A's, homecoming queen, Ivy League law school, the whole 9 yards. Meanwhile, I dropped out of college after 2 years, started a small but successful bakery, and moved in with my long-term boyfriend turned fiancé, Jordan, 31M. My parents never really took me seriously. I'd invite them to my bakery's milestones, our grand opening, when we got featured in a local food magazine, even when we broke even for the first time. Not even a congrats text. Meanwhile, when Rachel gets promoted, full-blown celebration dinner at some overpriced steakhouse, with mom and pearls and dad giving a toast like she just cured cancer. I've made peace with it. Or I thought I had. Until I got engaged. Jordan proposed to me in the sweetest way, just the two of us, at the park where we had our first date. He brought along a little cake from my own bakery, with "Will you marry me?" piped in frosting. I was crying and laughing at the same time. It was perfect. And for the first time in a while, I thought, maybe this will finally be the thing that makes my parents proud of me. We called them that night, FaceTimed them. Rachel was there, too, of course. I held up the ring. My mom blinked twice and said, "Oh. That's nice." Then immediately pivoted to telling us Rachel had just landed some huge case at her firm. Dad didn't even look up from whatever he was doing. Jordan and I exchanged glances, but I shrugged it off. I was used to it. A week later, I sent out save-the-date emails. A few minutes after they went out, Rachel texted me a screenshot. She had just announced her own engagement on social media. Same day. Same hour. Her ring? 3 times the size of mine. Her caption? Something like, "Can't wait to marry my best friend, ring bride with veil, female sign, #finally #engaged life," with my mom and dad in the comments saying, "We're so thrilled for you, sweetheart." I was gutted. I called my mom, trying to keep it light. "Hey, kind of weird timing, huh?" She laughed and said, "Well, Rachel didn't know you were going to get engaged too. Besides, her fiancé comes from such a good family. Did you know his dad's a judge?" The implication hung in the air. My fiancé? Just a guy who works in IT. I said nothing. I hung up. Fast forward to wedding planning. Rachel books her wedding at the same venue I'd already told everyone we were using. Just a few weeks after mine. Hers is now the main event. Apparently, ours is being treated like a warm-up show. My mom even told my aunt that at least Rachel's will be elegant. I asked my parents if they wanted to help with anything. No response. Rachel gets a $15,000 contribution for her dream dress and live band. I got a maybe we can help pay for some cupcakes. At my bridal shower, they didn't even show. Said they had a dinner with Rachel's future in-laws. I don't even know why I'm writing this. Maybe just to scream into the void. I love my fiancé. I love the life we've built. My bakery, my friends, my independence. I'm proud of what I've accomplished, even if no one in my family ever says it out loud. But it's really hard not to feel like I'm always competing in a race where the finish line keeps moving, and I was never really invited to run. My wedding is in 3 months. Part of me wants to just elope and skip the circus entirely. But another part, maybe the stubborn, wounded part, wants to walk down that aisle with my head high, even if no one's clapping. I guess I just needed someone to tell me I'm not crazy for feeling this way. From the moment I announced my engagement, Rachel's behavior shifted. First, she said, "Are you sure Jordan isn't just settling?" Right to my face. No filter, no hesitation. I laughed it off at the time, pretending she was just being her usual blunt self. But it sat with me. Then she offered to help with wedding planning, claiming she knew how overwhelming it all can be. I wanted to believe her. I thought, maybe this is her trying to extend an olive branch. Yeah, no. She accidentally booked the wrong florist. Not just any florist, a bargain basement 1-star Yelp disaster. The bouquets came back wilted and patchy, like they'd been left in a garage overnight. When I confronted her, she just shrugged and said, "Oops, my bad. They looked fine in the pictures." She also forgot to mail half the RSVPs to my friends, and somehow sent a batch with the wrong date to Jordan's family. When I called her out, gently, she acted offended and said I was being controlling. And then there was the dress. Rachel tried to convince me to wear her old bridesmaid dress. From a wedding that never even happened, by the way. "It's sustainable," she chirped, "and kind of vintage now. You'd look cute in it." It was blush pink, wrinkled, and reeked of passive aggression. But the real kicker? She kept making this joke at family dinners that she'd catch the bouquet again, even though she very publicly dumped her fiancé last year after cheating rumors started swirling. Which she denied, of course, but she was texting her ex-boyfriend the whole time, so, you tell me. My gut told me she was sabotaging me. Everyone else brushed it off as Rachel just being Rachel. And I tried to keep the peace, grit my teeth, smile, and focus on the wedding. But then came the rehearsal dinner. We'd rented out a small local restaurant, cozy and elegant, with a gorgeous garden in the back where the ceremony would be. Everything was finally coming together. My friends flew in. Jordan's parents gave a little toast that made me tear up. It was supposed to be our moment. And then Rachel stood up, glass in hand. At first, I thought she was going to give a sweet, if self-centered, speech like she always does. I braced myself. But no. She smiled at the room and said, "I know we're all here to celebrate Jordan and my little sister, but I just want to say, it's funny how life turns out, huh? One minute you're planning your dream wedding, the next minute your ex is texting you again. Maybe I'm the one getting married next." Everyone laughed awkwardly. Then she turned directly to me and said, "But hey, if you change your mind, I've still got my old dress. And my florist's on standby." I could feel the blood drain from my face. Jordan reached for my hand under the table. I stood up. Calmly. I said, "Rachel, I love you because I have to. But if you try anything tomorrow, anything at all, I swear to God, I will walk down the aisle, say my vows, and then walk right past you and out of this family." Dead silence. Except for my dad muttering, "Drama runs in the family, I guess." I left early that night. Jordan came with me. We sat in the car in the parking lot, in total silence, until I just burst into tears. I don't know what tomorrow will bring. I don't even know if I want my parents there anymore. But I know this, I'm not going to let Rachel ruin my day. Even if I have to go no contact the minute I say I do. At the rehearsal dinner, Rachel went missing for about 30 minutes. She just vanished. No one really noticed. She tends to disappear when she's not the center of attention, but when she came back, her face was flushed, and she looked rattled. She laughed it off, said she was just getting some air. But then she left her phone on the table. Right next to me. I swear I wasn't snooping. I wasn't even looking at it until a message lit up the screen. "I can't keep lying. She'll find out soon. The baby is yours." My heart stopped. The sender? Jordan. At first, I thought I was reading it wrong. That it was a joke, a scam message, anything. But my hands moved on their own. I tapped the message. The entire thread opened. Months. They'd been texting for months. And not just texts, pictures. Him shirtless. Her in bed. Conversations about meeting late at night, while I was at the bakery or too tired to hang out. Her complaining about morning sickness. Him offering to sneak her crackers and ginger tea. Her saying, "I think she suspects something." Him replying, "Just until the wedding. After that, we'll tell her together." The wedding. My wedding. I sat there, phone in hand, my world crumbling in real time. My fiancé. My sister. A baby. 5 months along. All those flowy dresses. All the jokes about catching the bouquet again. The digs about Jordan settling. The sabotaged florist, the RSVP disaster, the constant inserting herself into every part of my wedding. It wasn't sabotage. It was strategy. She was lining things up for a takeover. I must have gone pale, because my best friend Lauren leaned over and whispered, "Are you okay?" I couldn't speak. I showed her the screen. Her mouth dropped open. "You need to get out of here. Now." I stood up and walked out. No scene. No dramatic exit. Just gone. Jordan texted me that night, asking why I left early. I didn't respond. Instead, I booked a hotel room downtown. Lauren came with me. We got wine, tissues, and blackout curtains. I didn't sleep. I just kept replaying every moment in my head, Jordan coming home late, Rachel's weird comments, how my mom kept saying Rachel was finally growing up. They knew. Everyone probably knew. The next morning, I canceled the wedding. Called the venue, the caterer, the photographer. I told them it wasn't happening and ate the costs. My parents tried calling, I didn't answer. Jordan showed up at my hotel. I didn't open the door. He cried through the hallway like that would fix it. Rachel texted me a smiley face. That's it. No words. Just that. And that's when I knew this wasn't guilt. This wasn't a mistake. This was a game. And she thought she won. But she didn't. Because here's what's happening now, I'm moving. I found a new apartment near the city. I've handed the bakery off to my assistant manager for a few weeks while I regroup. I told my story to my closest friends, no more secrets. Jordan's things? Left in boxes on the curb with a note, returned to sender. And as for Rachel? Let her plan her own damn wedding. I hope her kid gets her lying smile. I'm done being the black sheep. Turns out, the only thing I was guilty of was trusting the wolves. I didn't say anything that night. I acted normal. I smiled. I kissed Jordan goodbye like nothing was wrong. Inside, I was burning. The next day, my wedding day, I showed up. Hair done. Dress perfect. Not a single tear. I looked like the bride I was supposed to be. Except I wasn't walking into a wedding. I was walking into a war I planned to win with silence, grace, and receipts. I walked down the aisle slowly, calmly. The music played. Cameras flashed. Jordan stood at the altar, pretending like everything was fine. Rachel was in the front row in some pale pink monstrosity she probably thought made her look angelic. She was smirking. Like she knew something I didn't. I got to the altar. Took Jordan's hands. Smiled up at him. He looked a little too relieved, probably thought I didn't know. That I had chosen to marry him anyway. I took a deep breath. And then I turned to the guests and said, "Before I marry the love of my life, I just want to share something beautiful." A family announcement. Everyone laughed nervously. Cameras kept rolling. My mother looked thrilled. Rachel's smile stretched wider. I reached into the bodice of my dress and pulled out a stack of neatly folded papers. Some of you may know that Rachel and Jordan have grown quite close during this engagement. Closer than I ever imagined, in fact. I turned to Rachel and said, "Don't worry, sis, I brought backup." Then I began passing printed screenshots down the pews like church hymnals. One by one, message after message. Some guests read in stunned silence. Others gasped. One of my aunts whisper screamed, "Oh my God." The photos. The texts. The late night meetups. The "can't wait until this is over and what if she finds out." All of it, in black and white. Undeniable. Jordan tried to grab the mic from the officiant, saying, "This isn't the time, can we just talk about this privately?" "No," I said. "You had months for that. You picked today. So I am too." Rachel turned pale. Then red. Then ran out sobbing. My mother fainted. Literally fainted, someone had to catch her before she face-planted into the floral arrangement. My dad just stood there, jaw clenched, like his world had caved in. The room exploded. Half the guests stood. Some followed Rachel. A few tried to comfort Jordan, who was standing alone at the altar, holding nothing but his own guilt and a cheap ring. And me? I turned. I walked down the aisle alone, head held high, veil flying behind me like a cape. Like a warrior walking away from the battlefield, not defeated, but victorious. I didn't get a wedding that day. But I did get closure. And clarity. And my dignity. They can keep each other. They deserve every lie, every sleepless night, every shred of trust they'll never rebuild. As for me? I'm starting over. Free. Clear. And finally done playing small to keep other people comfortable.